guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. I have a great song from Pantera today. We're going to learn how to play hollow. So we're going to take a look at all the rhythm parts, all the harmony guitar parts, and the solo, of course. So it's going to be a lot to get to today. Before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring that notification bell so you know when I release a new video. You can like and comment the videos, and it really helps. When you do that, it really helps the video reach a lot more people and helps the channel out a lot. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube with all these free song lessons, check out the link in the description. You'll see a link to my Guitar Academy, and that is the best way to support what I do. My Guitar Academy contains all of my guitar courses, from complete beginner courses to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. I go live there every Saturday, which is Academy members, like a live video chat, and you get personalized support from me, and you get a free 7-day trial by just clicking that link below. So please go check it out. All right, so now this song is obviously, Dime had his own way of kind of tuning, and a little fun game is to look in the description of YouTube videos where people teach dime bag songs and their opinion on how to get the tuning correct. It's always really fun. But anyway, so his actual guitar tech says that whatever tuning they're doing, they just raise it 40 cents. And he had a Korg tuner that he just had was kind of automatically set at 40 cents. So he could just tune it to, say, E flat standard. It just looks like normal E flat standard him on the tuner. But the tuner's settings have that raised automatically 40 cents, everything. So it's really like a quarter step sharp of half step, or you can call it, sometimes it's like right in the middle of the two, like a quarter step flat of E standard. So depending on how you look at the tuning as raising half step down or lowering standard, you're right in the middle pretty much is where he's at. So his tech says he looked at it as E flat for this tuning. He had many different tunings, but then they raised the pitch 40 cents on the Korg tuner. But you'll see, if you see people in the comments, which you will, say it's 432 hertz, it's 425 hertz, it's 427.65 hertz, whatever. Everybody's got an opinion. So that, if you look at one of those, that's setting the hertz figures on your digital tuner. If it doesn't do cents, it does hertz instead. So instead of 440, you put your tuner at 432. It's just a setting on the tuner. And then, at that case, you're actually tuning your guitar down. So down below standard. So when you tune to, looks like just normal standard tuning, that is actually going to be a half step below concert pitch. I'm sorry, a quarter step. So if you see the hertz, if you're following the hertz, you're tuning down from standard. If you see the cents, if you're gonna do it like Grady Champion did, his guitar tech, you would start with E flat and then have the tuner set up to raise it a quarter step. Either way, you're in between. Don't worry about that right now. I'm just tuned to E flat standard. You don't have to worry about matching the pitch. It's just regular E flat standard and 8440. Hey, brilliant. So anyway, so let's jump into the actual track. So we're gonna start with this. We have this little clean guitar figure going in the intro with a harmony line going over it. So this clean guitar is the same thing that's in the verse. So I'm not even gonna really cover that. I'll cover that in the verse. For the harmony lines, we have a higher harmony and a lower harmony. You never see them do this live. They just skipped right to the heavy parts. So we're going to kind of, you can't see exactly how Dime fingered it, but so this is probably a good guess though. So it looks like this. So that is the high harmony part. So depending on which one you want to do, I'll be teaching this the lower harmony in a second. So let's start with the high harmony part. We're going to slide in to the 15th fret on the A string, then just kind of pick across a C major arpeggio here. So that's 15 on the A, 14 on the D, 12 on the G. So with this. Then play 12 again on the G, up to 16. over to 15 on the B, and so I'm guessing Dime loved to do kind of upwards bend with his index finger. So a couple of half step bend. So, I'm sorry, whole step bend. And it releases on the 15th fret on the B, and then over to the 14th on the G to resolve it. So 16 on the G, sorry. And then we kind of start again, different ending. So that's the same beginning. So up here now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide to that 16 on the G, so 12 to 16, and then slide down into the 9th fret there on the D string. And then whole step there at the 10th fret on the G, whole step in, and then slide down into 7 on the D string, and then the bend at the 9th fret on the G. So, and then you gotta start over again. And it's the same thing kind of the second time through, is, except we have this bends a little bit different one time through. So right here, we do this. So that's instead of going like we did before. So it's just does a, you just do a quick one bend and release there on the 15, and then go over to the 17th fret on the G string and do a huge bend, a 2 whole step bend. So we have this. All right, and then it's the same ending the second time through that we did before for the slides. So all together for the high harmony line. There's a couple of bends to end it there on the 9th fret there. Just resolve that. All right, now the lower harmony line looks like this. All right, so we're down here, the 12th fret on the A string. Then you're gonna pick 12 on the A, 10 on the D, and 9 on the G. Then play this, 9 again, 12 on the 9, 12 on the G, over to that 12 on the B string. And then a couple of bend and release, had that kind of half step bend and release there. Over to the 12th fret on the G. And then, same beginning here. So now when we get to the G string, we're gonna do the slides, just kind of matching what we did before, but this is gonna be slide 9 to 12. And then slide down to the 5th fret there on the D string, the bend at the 7th fret, and then slide down to the 4th fret on the D string, into the 5th fret bend on the G. So the first half of the lower harmony. All right, and then we continue kind of the same way, except once again, this first time through, the ending's gonna be a little different. Right here, we're gonna one half step bend release on the 12th fret of the B, and then grab that 14 on the G. And that one's up a step and a half, so not 2 whole steps. The other one goes up to get to the E. And this one's only a step and a half to match the other one, to harmonize it. And then same ending as before. And remember, a couple of bends to end it. All right, so all together for the low harmony part. Now underneath all of that, we have this clean guitar thing going. So that is the verse. So here's the actual verse, so you can hear the clean guitar by itself. So it looks like this. Stop there because then it gets to what's really kind of a chorus of some sort. So we'll get to that in a second. So we're going to start here, open A string, 2nd fret there on the D, 3rd fret on the, the 5th fret on the G, and then the open B string. So that's kind of, you're just going to pick. So I'm picking from the A string all the way to kind of 3 downstrokes across to the G, and then 3 upstrokes starting in the B. So we have this. And we're going to kind of continue that, but we're just going to change the root note each time. So on the bass note. So that, all we did was, instead of the open A string, now it's going to be 3rd fret there on the A, and everything else stays the same. Then we're going to move the root note over to the low E string. So what we do is we put our the 3rd fret there on the low E. So you pick that, so the picking pattern has to slightly change. You're not picking the A string, you're picking the low E first, then skip over to the D. Continue the picking pattern the same way. So we have this. Then back to the open A. All right, so we have this. Start over again. Except the second time through, instead of going back to the open A after the G, you do this. So you're still keeping this 5th fret there on the G string, but you have the 2nd fret now on the low E, and the 3rd fret there on the A. So you play that 2nd fret on the low E, 3rd fret on the A, open D, and then open B, the G string at the 5th fret, and then the open D again. Just like this. So that's the full chorus, so you just repeat all that. I'm sorry, full verse. here things change up a little bit, and we have a quick little, I guess we're just gonna call this the chorus. We'll say this. All right, so that starts, that's kind of some similar stuff. We have the open low E now in the bass though. So still the 2nd fret there on the D, 5th fret there on the G, open B. So hit the low E open and then that same picking pattern. So instead of the 3rd fret on the low E, just the open E. Do that twice. Then we go to that one that ended the verse there, we did before. That one twice, that picking pattern. From there, we have the 3rd fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the A, and open D. Everything stays the same up top. So 3rd on the low E, 2nd on the A, open D string, and then the open B, 5th fret on the G, open D. It's kind of a stretch. So. Twice. And now this last one, we have the 4th fret there on the low E string, 2nd fret on the A string, 3rd fret there on the D. Then the open B, 5th fret there on the G, 3rd fret on the D, and then come back and hit the low E string there that you're holding at the 4th fret, just to hit that once. So hit this. So all together for the chorus. All right, and then we get to the harmony section again. Now this one is slightly different, just a little bit. There's a little whammy bar action in it. So the high harmony one, it's going to be one little thing that we got to learn here. It's going to be almost identical to the first high harmony part, but see if you can pick up a little difference. So the only difference there was that first time through, instead of doing this, we do this instead. So that's it. That bend and release at the 15, and then you hit 13 and do a bar dip, bar dive, and when you bring the bar back, it's on the 14th there on the G. So you just kind of bring the bar back up on that 14. And then everything else is the same. Kind of had the same thing going on with the lower harmony thing. We have that little whammy bar thing he mimics down there as well, harmonizes that. So that looks like this. And then everything's the same after that we did the first time through with the lower harmony. So that right there is just same thing. But when you get here, half step bend and release, just one. Then play the 10th fret there on the B, do a bar dive, and then you come back up with the bar, with holding the 9th fret there on the G. And then everything else past that is the same as when we did the first lower harmony part in the intro. All right, now we go back through the same verse and the same chorus and stuff there. And the second time through, after getting through that second chorus, instead of going back into the harmony section, Dime goes into his solo, which is continues to be over that same kind of like, I guess, the verse. So I will play through Dime's solo for you real quick, and then I'll show you how to play it note for note. All right, so we're gonna start here. It's kind of a short solo for Dime. We're gonna start here with this. So that's a bend and release at the 8th fret on the B, pull off to 5, and then hammer back on the 8. And then we kind of have this little blues lick. So that goes, that bend and release again at the 8, pull off to 5, over to 8 on the G string, back to the 5 on the B, and then back to 8 on the G. And you're going to pull off to 7, 5, and then hammer back up 7, 8, and catch that 5 on the high E string after it. So we have this over like. So remember, start with that, and then go on that all the way. All right, so when you get to this top note, it's kind of the start of the next kind of blues lick. We'll say this. So we're kind of similar here. The 5th fret on the high E string, pull off 8 to 5 on the B, over to that 8 on the G, and then go back to the B again, the 5th fret. Then you're gonna play that 8, pull off 7, pull off 5 again. So we have this. And then here you're gonna grab the 7th fret there on the D string, and then go back up with those, back up to the G string, and then play that 5, hammer 7, 8, pull back off to 7, back down to 5. And then you play 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the D again. So we have this from this top note. So all together so far. So from there, that 7 there, you're gonna let that ring for a second on the D. And then you pull off the 5 on the D, go over to 7 on the A, and go down to 5 on the A. And when you pull off the 5, there's a quick bend and release. And then you slide down to 3. And you do a slow bend, and then you kill it. So this. So all together. All right, from there we have this kind of oblique bend. So that's just playing, you're bending up the 15th fret there on the B string while you're holding the 15th fret on the high E string. Then you pick the high E, but you're still letting that B string ring. Bring the bend down, and then back up. Then you're gonna pick the high E string, you're gonna start separating the notes. High E string, 15th fret. And you're gonna pick that 15th fret there on the B string without the high E 15. It's already bent, right? So it's a pre-bend. And you're gonna release it, bring it back up. Release, back up. And then you go to the 15th fret on the high E string, do a quick bend on that, and kill it. And then pick it without the bend. And then pre-bend it up to a whole step again. And then he has some harmonics here. You can just hit the 5th fret across, just across the D and the the G and the B string, and just do kind of a bar dive there. All right, now after the solo, we have this kind of this long bridge section, which starts with an acoustic guitar bridge. Acoustic. So this is not an acoustic guitar, big shock. But I'm gonna play through this, just the acoustic section real quick, before the heavy stuff comes in. So it looks like this. All right, so that right there is gonna, you start with an E minor add 9 chord. So obviously E flat, but right now, but we have open E, 2nd fret on the A, 4th fret there on the D. And the open G. So we have, holding those notes, he's gonna pick across from the low E, all the way to the G, and back down to the A. So a 6-note pattern, 1, 2, 3. So we have this. So you play that once, and then just take this second fret there on the A and move it back to the 1st fret. Keep everything else the same. And then back up to the E minor add 9. And then we have this. So that plays, this is the 3rd fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the A, then skip over and hit the open G. Let's play this. Then 2nd fret on the low E string and then skip over to the G. Again. Got some string skipping there. And then you're gonna play the 1st fret on the low E, 3rd fret on the A, open D, the last 3 notes. So. So all together. Repeat. So 3rd time here. Now the 4th time, we just play down to the picking pattern. When we move that down to the 1st fret, we just play that picking pattern. That little 6 notes there, and then the rest of it we change to this. So we're just basically sliding into the 7th fret there on the A, play 5 on the D, the open G. Then the 5th fret on the A, open G. All right, and then we're gonna come down here to the 4th fret on the A, 2nd fret there on the D, open G. And then the same thing again, except you're gonna move to the 3rd fret there on the A string. From there, you hit the 2nd fret on the A up to the open G, 3rd fret on the low E string, open G, and 1st fret. You got that on, and you just crank into the heavy part. You can hit open G there real quick at the very. Yeah, you get the open G after that. All right, then we get to what I just kind of call the heavy bridge. It's a bridge because we haven't heard it before, right? So let me just play through kind of the first half of that before the break. We have this. All right, so I know we have an outro too. So we're gonna start here with this. So it starts with 1 hit, then 2 hits, then 3 hits with a muted hit after. So it goes 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, muted hit, and then slide the power chord at the 2nd fret on the low E string from 2 to 3, and then 5 to 6. Then you kind of start the same rhythm again. Then that kind of the last 3, the 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, then jump up here, and you're gonna grab the 6th fret across the low E and the A string, and the 8th fret there on the D string. Hit those 3 times. So repeat. So after we do that 4 times, we had this. So that kind of starts open, low E, and you play a 7, but it's a slight bend on that 7. So you do that slight bend, then the open E again, then the 6th fret, then a couple low E hits. And then back to the bend on the 7, then 0, 6, 0, 6, 7, 8. Now, when he does that 6, 7, 8, a lot of times he's going to catch the, so it's like a power chord. We have like the inverted power chord here. So it's 6 fret on the A and the low E. Then same thing with all three. So it just starts right. So sometimes as he goes through the riff and builds it, he starts holding the power chords more. Or you can kind of stick with the single notes, sounds good too. Then we're back in the back. A lot more using the power chords there the second time through. So after you've done that 4 more times there, we had this little figure. And then back to that riff. So we have, that's 7 on the A, 5 on the D. Then move down to 5 on the A, 4 on the D. And then 4 on the A, 2 on the D. And same chord again, but just move down to the 3rd fret on the A. Then 2nd fret on the A, open D string. Then 3, 2, 1, open on the little E string. Okay. And then we're back to that riff again. So it's kind of the same, like I said, actually it's a little bit different. So. So you can see right there, I'm going. So I'm kind of holding on that 6. And then do that part yet. So with this. So that right there. Again. And then open E twice. And then back to the 6s. So we have this. And then then when we do the repeat here, we repeat it like we did earlier. So we have this. All right, now we kind of have a laid back version of it, if they have that in Pantera. It's more single notey, and I think he's got a little bit of octapedal going on it too. But we have this, you can play the high octave you want, but he's kind of sliding into the, remember, when you get that 7, there's always like a little slight bend. So, and the 7, 6, 0. 7, 6, 0 twice, and then go 6, 7, 8. So they play this riff like 8 times, but the second group of 4, Vinny plays a little bit different rhythm under it. All right, and then we go back to this. So that's the same as before, except obviously leaving after the was the bar dive there, and then everything else the same. Then as you're letting that ring, you'll hear like a little overdub, and those harmonics that you hear or the 5th fret on G string, 7th fret B, and the 12th fret there on the high E string. All right, and then we come back with the outro here. A little bit different here again. So with this. So it's the same riff that we were doing before, where we were playing, kind of hanging on that 6 for first time through, and then the 6, 7, 8. So it's that version of the riff we do for a little bit. All right, so after he does that like 4 times, then 4, 8 times, whatever. Then we have this. Now this is an overdub here. So we have this open E, and then the little slight bend to the 7. You do that over and over again. And now on the recording, he keeps doing that. But then so you keep that going while we have an overdub of that. So it's kind of cool just to go to that overdub though. So we're just doing the 7s first. 0, 7. Remember, slight bends on the 7, and then the same thing but at 10 fret. Yeah. Hold that last one and then back. And then it's that same riff that kind of goes out. So it's a pretty intense ending there, but it is a fun song to play. It's got some great stuff in it. It's just a great tune. I wish they played. I wish I could find them playing the entire thing live, but they kind of just start with the heavy stuff. I think they usually did it like Domination, and then they went right into this. A lot of this, the heavy part here. So whatever, it worked, but it's really, really cool. The clean parts are really nice too. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.